Hey, what's up, everybody? We got these 3.19 patch notes yesterday. They were exactly what they said that they were going to do in the what we're working on the other day. I think this is more systemic and just truly misguided than I thought that they would be. As you know, I have long been accused of being like a GGG shill and yada, yada, yada. In my previous video, there were people saying, haha, I told you so, 3.15 was the worst thing ever. And as someone who has worked on game balance and game systems and all that, I think 3.15 was heavy-handed and they could have, stretched it out a little bit. But what it enabled was things like 3.17 and 3.18 in terms of our power level, just due to actually opening up design space. They did it too much. They did it too strong initially, but that is how games work. However, the way that you actually play a game and the way that you interact with it and how you are calibrated for the mechanics is a different topic. And that is what is affected in 3.19. Like the flow and the reward per time is dramatically different. That I actually think in 3.15 that wasn't changed at all. Like while the power level of your character was reduced a little bit, since the rewards were so good and we got Expedition, which is one of the most rewarding leagues of all time, we were able to counter that 30% power nerf very, very quickly and very easily, to the point where if you actually played 3.15 and you didn't just quit after saying it was too hard after reading the patch notes, some of the strongest builds that we've ever had happened in 3.15. 3.19 is GGG truly not understanding the flow and how the game works. At least the people that have balance for 3.19, this just fundamentally doesn't understand how we interact with the game. There was a clip yesterday of Lily fighting an Essence monster for 2.5 minutes. She did actually get pretty decent rewards. I know they were memeing on it. She sold all the uniques and she got 6 uniques. But 2.5 minutes for a very strong build. She's playing Spectral Helix. It's to the point where the expected rewards for the time would be on the level of a Pinnacle boss. Yeah, let's talk about the specifics here. They did a couple nerfs here that reduced the amount of life bonus that Arch Nemesis is doing to multiply specifically with red beasts and with essences. You do the math and it takes you 60 seconds to kill a monster. Even after the nerf, it's still going to take 50 seconds to kill one monster that on average is very unrewarding. And I've never been a fan of the bullet sponge mechanic for difficulty in any game, and especially in Path of Exile, which is usually such a kinetic and crispy game, right? People were showing clips the other day of the old Vol Ice Nova exploding an entire legion, Explodey chest and ritual, stuff like that. And that's definitely an insane power creep. But that was also not something that someone was expected to have within a couple days, but they've just removed most of that from the game entirely. And I would argue with the way that, at least that we've been calibrated to play the game, that is the fun thing. And the reason why so many people have flocked to the game and why they enjoy the game in the state that it was in 3.13 and 3.14 was because they were able to do those things. Ultimatum for me is my favorite league of all time. Basically every patch since Ultimatum has pulled it away from that. And even for me, I am now pretty concerned. While the beginning of Sentinel with the Arch Nemesis stuff was god-awful, they did nerf it very, very quickly. And then we had one of the most rewarding leagues in a long time. Sentinel was insane. You could juice stuff and have some of the craziest loot explosions and just reward for your time, really in any recent memory. That was one of my most financially successful leagues of all time. And I didn't even play as much as some previous leagues. It was incredibly rewarding. The mechanic perfectly balanced risk and reward. I think that should basically be the golden standard of the way that Path of Exile should be looked at. GGG very clearly wants to be pushing it in a different direction. Another line in this change here is increase the likelihood of finding higher level armor base types. This is quite impactful, resulting in 25% more high armor base types dropping. I am in hardcore solo self-found right now. I just ran a 55% quant eye level 81 map, and I know it's only a single data point, but I just ran the whole thing and I got one chrome recipe sun plate. Not a single other item worth picking up showed up. I would pick up every single high base type that I would see. I'm not even seeing those high base types because the actual item drops are not there. I'm on a very, very, very loose loot filter right now, and I didn't even see a single transmute drop the entire time. While they may be encouraging some slower gameplay and slower progression, I was really expecting that going into solo self-found hardcore this league. It's it's pretty extreme. There is a slippery slope with the game could just straight up turn into Candy Crush and pay to win and all that. And game balance is really about that tension of having to invest to get reward and get those upgrades. You know, there's going to be an asymptote that you're approaching for your upgrades as you invest more into your build. Currently, such a hard wall when you hit white maps. And the real thing that you got to ask yourself is like, what is the vision? What do they want this game to look like? You know, we look at Legion League, Ritual, Ultimatum, and even Sentinel as, I think, very strong and fun data points in game design and game balance. You do have to be careful of too much power creep, turning it into Candy Crush. Everyone loved the way that the game was. The real big sticking point for me is removing tools that were not super, super strong. All they did was like smooth out the power curve a little bit to make it feel like you could more intentionally work towards something and have a little bit of influence on your progress. And they are directly removing access to things like that. Even for someone like me who is willing to take on a challenge and be a little bit more masochistic, I am concerned with this direction. Like, to the point where, like, I see this patch personally, and I've seen examples of, like, the Lake of Calandra loot. Like, this is, we haven't seen, like, particularly anything of note here yet. It's not even that this isn't enough, right? Like, even if these numbers were doubled, it still is ignoring the fact that Arch Nemesis, just what it does to the game, I think makes it just less fun, less visible, concentrating all the rewards on certain damage sponge monsters that are just not fun to fight. That's the fundamental issue, right? It's not fun to fight them. I like engaging, interesting encounters, but yeah, you're just engaging with the Arch Nemesis modifiers. Like, okay, I'm fighting an Essence monster. I mouse over it, I see Gargantuan Malediction Hexer. I know for my build, I'm out of there. I had a very, very close call earlier today, actually, like way too close, because I was fighting a Hexer monster that very quickly put a gigantic alley weakness on me and then stacked, like rapid fire stacked a bunch of cold dots underneath me. And as soon as my Leaf Shade kicked off, I hit 97 life. I only lived because I hit my Panic Flask. It was just like unexpected spiky damage. Not only did it feel like unfair, because I was like being careful and I was reading things, but it just like cursed me and put all those dots at the same time. If I had one less cup of coffee, I would have died. Not only is it unfair, it's just, there's nothing particularly interesting and fun about it. The video that I made today, I wanted to just talk about this build more, how I'm progressing it. I hit a 5 link. I am now, as you saw, I'm in a T14 maps. I'm making really great progress playing this build in Hardcore Solo Self-Found. Really enjoying pushing the ladder, but I can't talk about it because this is going on. And it's really detracting from the type of content that I want to make, sharing fun stuff in the game while I'm having fun with the build. Constantly in the back of my head, I see an Essence monster, I see an Einhar beast, I see Nemesis mods, and I just... So what we're going to be doing on stream today, it is actually my 40th birthday today. Woohoo! Fun video, let's go! I'm not going to be playing very much Path of Exile. I wanted to do a fun birthday experience on stream today. I'm actually going to play very, very little PoE. We're going to boot up Cult of the Lamb. Game looks adorable. It looks super fun. I'm excited to play that. And we're just going to chat and talk with people because I'm going to wait for the patch, man. All we can do is hope that 3.19.0D is a little bit better. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get ready for the birthday stream today. And I really appreciate you all being here and giving me company through this experience. Hope to see you on stream, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.